Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. All right, I'm in the Brompton Road Cemetery. It's a cemetery that's been around for a long time in England. Cemeteries used to be, by and large, in churchyards or things like that, at least in England, most of them were. But then in the 1800s, I guess people started dying a whole bunch or something, but they realized that they needed more room in London for cemeteries, and so they kind of set up these cemetery companies almost to start putting in these cemetery lots, and there are 3 or 4 or 5 of them spaced out throughout London. This one's got over 200,000 people buried here. You can still be buried here today. So for example, as I'm walking around, I see right here, this is William Constable, who died. He died September 30th, 1924. And he was 86 years old. That's a really long time for a lot of these people. And it says he's safe in the arms of Jesus. What a great thing. Now, there are some of these cemetery plots, like look over here. These things have gone crazy. The weeds have grown up over all of these things. And it's just, I mean, it goes back and back and back. There's just bukus of these folks. And you find these, and a lot of them have that dash between when they were born and when they died. Some of them don't put when they were born, they just put their death date. But that dash is a reference point for a lot of people these days to give thought to how we live. Because, folks, more important than the day you die or more important than the day you live is that dash. How did you live? Some folks think how they live is reflected by how well kept their gravesite is. In that case, poor William Cook, right over there, who died he was 71 years old when he died in October of 1863. His relatives must not be around to be taking care of his stuff right now. It doesn't look too good. But whether or not your cemetery plot is well tended to isn't the defining mark of how you lived your life. The words that are the epitaph on your tombstone, those are instructive and useful for understanding how you lived your life. But what every one of us need to realize is, regardless of whether we're buried in a cemetery like this, or whether our grave is well tended, or whether we're remembered with some statement about how we died or when we died or who we died with or who we didn't die with, all of these people had lives that every day consisted. We got a plane going overhead. Sorry about that. These people had lives that every day consisted of the same thing in some ways that you and I do. They interacted with other people. They ate. They slept. They worked. They played. And one of the questions becomes, how on earth do you and I do that each day? It's something that will affect society, yeah, but it will affect our families. It'll affect those we interact with. And it's a lot more important than how much money we make. It's a lot more important than how popular we are. It's, are we living our lives deliberately, glorifying God as seen by the way we uphold His teachings and in the ways we treat other people? By the way, as I've been talking, I've walked into the rich part of the cemetery. These people who died, they died with a lot of money. I mean, they got some massive tombstones in here. That thing's like bigger than life size. You got this one right over here. Let me get up here real quick. Look at this. That's a honker right there, man. This has got room for like 20 people to die and be in it. But it doesn't matter how rich you were. Doesn't matter how poor you were. The question is, how did you live the dash? How do you live every day? I think it's something we ought to be thinking about. Don't let life pass you by. Live it deliberately. That's your video thought for the day.